You don't need a six-figure salary to retire 10 years early. You need a formula. And nobody taught you this one. Every piece of financial advice you've ever received was built around the same assumption. Work until you're 65, save what you can, hope it's enough. That assumption was never designed to help you. It was designed to keep you working. Because the longer you work, the longer you pay taxes, the longer you fund Social Security, the longer you remain a consumer who needs a paycheck to survive. The system is not broken, it is working exactly as intended, just not for you. Today I'm going to show you a different set of numbers. Numbers that most financial advisors won't show you, not because they don't know them, but because their business model depends on you staying in the game as long as possible. I'm going to show you the exact formula that allows someone earning $60,000 a year, a completely ordinary American income, to walk away from work a full decade before everyone else. Not by winning the lottery, not by starting a tech company, not by inheriting money from a relative you didn't know existed. By understanding 4 variables that almost nobody talks about and optimizing each one with ruthless, quiet discipline. Let's get into it. Let's start with the plan you were given. Graduate, get a job, contribute to your 401k, hope the market cooperates, retire at 65. That's it, that's the plan. And for the majority of Americans, it isn't working. The median retirement savings for Americans between the ages of 55 and 64, the people closest to retirement, is $134,000. Let that sink in. People who have been working and saving for 30 to 40 years have a median retirement balance of $134,000. At a standard 4% withdrawal rate, that generates $5,360 per year in retirement income. That is $446 per month. Social Security will add something, but the average Social Security benefit in 2024 is $1,907 per month. Combined with that savings withdrawal, you're looking at roughly $2,353 per month to live on for the rest of your life. That is the outcome of following the standard plan perfectly. And most people aren't even following it perfectly. So why is this happening? 3 reasons. First, people start too late. The most powerful force in personal finance is compound interest, and compound interest rewards time above everything else. Starting at 22 versus starting at 32 is not a 10-year difference in outcomes. It's often a 300% difference in final wealth. Second, people save the wrong percentage. The conventional wisdom is to save 10 to 15% of your income for retirement. That advice was created in an era of pension plans and lower life expectancy. It is dangerously outdated. At a 10% savings rate, you are on track to work for approximately 40 years before you can retire. Not 30, 40. Third, people optimize the wrong variable. Almost everyone focuses on earning more. Very few people focus on spending less. The math will show you that your spending rate is 5 times more powerful than your earning rate when it comes to determining when you can retire. The traditional plan was not built to set you free. It was built to keep you functional, just functional enough to keep working until your body gives out. You deserve a better plan. Here is one. Early retirement is not a mystery, it is a math problem. And like any math problem, once you understand the variables, you can solve it. There are 4 variables that determine exactly when you can retire, regardless of your income level. Variable 1, your savings rate. Your savings rate is the percentage of your take-home income that you save and invest each month. This is the single most important number in your retirement equation. Not your salary, not your investment returns, your savings rate. At a 10% savings rate, you will work for approximately 40 years. At a 30% savings rate, that drops to 25 years. At a 50% savings rate, you're looking at just 15 years. Every 10 points you add to your savings rate, you cut years off your working life, and the gains accelerate as you go higher. Someone earning $60,000 with a 50% savings rate will retire earlier than someone earning $120,000 with a 20% savings rate. Income is not the determining factor, savings rate is. Variable 2, your annual expenses. This is the number that determines your retirement target. The math is simple. Whatever you spend per year, multiply it by 25, that's your retirement target. Spend less and that number drops fast. This is called the 25x rule, and it comes from decades of research into safe withdrawal rates. Reducing your annual expenses does two things simultaneously. It reduces the target you need to hit, and it increases the amount you can save each month to hit that target faster. Every dollar you cut from your spending is worth far more than $1. It accelerates your retirement from both directions at once. Variable 3, your investment return. This is the one most people focus on, and it's actually the least within your control. Historically, a diversified index fund portfolio tracking the S&P 500 has returned approximately 10% annually before inflation, or roughly 7% after inflation. You don't need to beat the market, you don't need to pick stocks. You need to invest consistently in low-cost index funds and let time do its work. Variable 4, your starting point. Where are you right now? What do you already have saved? Every dollar you already have invested is compounding on your behalf today. Someone who starts this journey with $50,000 already saved is years ahead of someone starting from zero, even if their income is identical. These four variables, savings rate, annual expenses, investment return, and starting point, are the complete equation. Everything else is noise. I want to show you what this formula looks like in real life. Meet Marcus. Marcus is 32 years old. He lives in Columbus, Ohio. He works as a project coordinator at a logistics company. His salary, $60,000 per year. Take-home pay after taxes, approximately $4,000 to $7,000 per year or $3,900 per month. Marcus is not exceptional. He didn't go to an elite university. He doesn't have a side business generating passive income. He doesn't have wealthy parents. What Marcus has is a clear understanding of the four variables and a decision to optimize each one. His annual expenses, $24,000 per year, that's $2,000 per month. In Columbus, Ohio, a mid-sized American city with a reasonable cost of living, this is entirely achievable. It covers a modest apartment, a reliable used car he owns outright, groceries, utilities, and a small entertainment budget. It is not a life of deprivation, it is a life of intentional simplicity. His retirement target, $600,000. 24,000 times 25, that's his finish line, not 1 million, not 2 million, a number that's real. His monthly savings, $1,900, the difference between his $3,900 take-home and his $2,000 in expenses. Nearly half his income going straight into a low-cost index fund every single month. His starting point, $8,000, not much but not zero. Starting there, investing $1,900 per month at 7% annual return after inflation, Marcus crosses $600,000 in approximately 14 years. He is 4 to 6 years old. He retires at 4 to 6. Not because he earned a fortune, because he understood a formula, optimized four variables, and executed with consistency. At 4 to 6, while his colleagues are calculating how many more years until they hit 6 to 5, Marcus is deciding how to spend his Tuesday. I want to spend a moment on the most counterintuitive part of this formula, because it is the piece that most people miss. Your spending rate matters more than your income, not a little more, dramatically more. Here is a comparison that will make this undeniable. Person A earns $90,000 per year. Their take-home is roughly $68,000. They spend $55,000. They save $13,000 per year. Their savings rate is around 19%. At that rate, they will work for approximately 34 more years. Person B earns $60,000 per year. Their take-home is $4,000 to $7,000. They spend $24,000. They save $23,000 per year. Their savings rate is 49%. At that rate, they will work for approximately 14 more years. Person A earns 50% more than Person B. Person B retires 20 years earlier. This is not a trick, this is arithmetic. When you reduce spending by $1,000 per month, you simultaneously add $1,000 to your monthly investments and reduce your retirement target by $300,000. Because your target is 25 times your annual spending and $1,000 per month is $12,000 per year, times 25 equals $300,000. One decision, two simultaneous accelerators. No other financial lever in your life has this kind of double impact. Not a raise, not a better investment return, not a bonus. The single most powerful thing you can do to retire earlier is spend less, and do it now, not someday. Marcus's base plan gets him to retirement at 46, but there are 4 accelerators that could get him there even faster or make his retirement more secure. Accelerator 1, the housing optimization. Housing is the largest expense for most Americans. Marcus pays $900 per month in rent. If Marcus found a roommate and split rent, he could reduce that to $600, freeing up $300 per month. Over 14 years, that $300 per month invested at 7% grows to an additional $81,000. One roommate, $81,000. Alternatively, if Marcus used a strategy called house hacking, buying a small multi-unit property, living in one unit and renting out the others, his housing could cost him nothing, or even generate income. This single move alone has the potential to cut years off his timeline. Accelerator 2, any income increase goes directly to investments. If he earns a raise or promotion, even a modest one to $6,000 to $7,000, and keeps his lifestyle completely unchanged, that extra take-home pay of approximately $450 per month goes entirely to investments. Over 10 years at 7%, $450 per month becomes an additional $78,000. Every raise that doesn't touch your lifestyle is an accelerator. Accelerator 3, tax-advantaged accounts. Marcus should be maximizing his 401k contribution first, up to the employer match at minimum, then maxing his Roth IRA at $7,000 per year. These accounts grow tax-free or tax-deferred, which means more of his money compounds rather than going to taxes. Someone who maximizes tax-advantaged accounts versus investing everything in a taxable brokerage account can arrive at the same retirement target years earlier simply due to the tax savings on growth. Accelerator 4, a single income-producing skill. Marcus doesn't need a full side business. He needs one skill that can generate $500 to $1,000 per month on a flexible basis. Freelance project coordination, consulting, tutoring, writing, or any other transferable skill. If Marcus generates $600 per month in side income for just 5 of his 14 working years, that additional investment contribution could move his retirement date forward by 2 to 3 years. One skill developed once, used selectively, significant impact. 4 accelerators, any one of them alone meaningfully changes the timeline. All 4 together could have Marcus retired in his early 40s rather than his mid-40s. Before we close, I want to address the 3 objections I know are forming in your mind right now. Misconception 1, I can't live on $2,000 a month. Maybe not where you are right now, but most people have never actually calculated what they spend, they estimate high out of fear. Before you decide $2,000 is impossible, spend 30 minutes pulling your last 3 months of bank statements and actually adding it up. Most people are shocked by what they find. Some find they're closer to $2,000 than they thought. Others find they're spending $4,000 and can identify $1,000 in immediate cuts that require zero sacrifice. You can't optimize what you haven't measured. And $2,000 is Marcus's number in Columbus. Your number might be $2,500 or $3,000 or $3,500 depending on your city and circumstances. Run your own formula. The math works at different spending levels, it just changes the timeline and the target. Misconception 2. What if the market crashes right when I retire? This is the sequence of returns risk, and it's real, it's also manageable. The 25x rule and 4% withdrawal rate are based on research spanning multiple market crashes, including the Great Depression, the 2008 financial crisis, and every downturn in between. Historically, a diversified portfolio with a 4% withdrawal rate has survived 30-plus-year retirements in nearly every market scenario. Early retirees have an advantage traditional retirees don't: flexibility. If the market drops 40% in year one of your retirement, you can pick up part-time work for a year or two while the market recovers. You have time on your side. That flexibility is the ultimate hedge. Misconception 3. This only works for single people with no kids. Marcus is single in this example because single is simpler to illustrate. But the formula works for families too, it just requires two people aligned on the goal. A dual-income household where both partners maintain a high savings rate is actually more powerful than a single person. Two incomes, shared fixed costs like housing and utilities, and two people holding each other accountable. Families who have used this formula to retire early exist in every income bracket, every family size, and every corner of this country. The variable that matters is not your family structure, it is your savings rate. Here is what I want you to take away from this video. Retiring 10 years early on a $60,000 salary is not a fantasy. It is a formula. 4 variables: savings rate, annual expenses, investment return, starting point. You control 3 of those 4 completely, and you influence the 4th through your choice of low-cost index funds. The system was not built to give you this formula. It was built to keep you working, spending, and dependent on a paycheck for as long as possible. But now you have it. The only question that remains is what you do with it. Start by calculating your actual monthly expenses, not an estimate, the real number from your actual bank statements. Then calculate your retirement target, annual expenses times 25. Then calculate your current savings rate. What percentage of your take-home pay are you actually saving each month? Then ask yourself, what would it take to get that savings rate to 40, 50, or 60%? You don't have to do it overnight, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to start and keep going. Because compounding doesn't care about perfection, it cares about consistency and time. And every month you wait is a month of compounding you can never get back. If this formula gave you something to think about, share this video with someone who has given up on the idea of retiring early. Tell them the formula exists, let them decide what to do with it. Subscribe to MoneyNoteLab and turn on notifications. Every week, we break down the financial systems that are working against you and show you exactly how to work around them. We'll see you in the next one.